The 2022 Tour de France is shaping up to be one of the most well balanced 3 weeks of racing we've had at the Tour for a very long time. Stages to suit everyone, stages where you can win the GC battle, but there's certainly stages where you can lose the GC battle as well. I'm James Talk Sport, and I'm going to take you through what I think will be the key stages of the 2022 men's Tour de France. The opening few days will start with a TT to tempt Philippe Organa, but the GC battle, as well as the battle for fun and carnage, will kick off on stage 5 with the cobbled stage to Arenberg. 11 sectors of cobbles in the final 75 kilometres, but it's really the final 10 sectors from 98 kilometres in the stage to 155. So, final 50k effectively, where the race could truly split up if it's wet. We've seen in 2014 with Nibali laying the foundations to his tour win that these cobble stages can be absolutely carnage. Or in 2015 and 18, we can see that it doesn't really change that much. But as a GC rider, you need to be attentive. You need to make sure you're at the front. And hey, why not try and follow Van der Poel? Stages 7, 8, 9, and 10 could play a role in the GC, but I'd imagine most of them will be for the breakaway. The Plonge de Belfi is getting a little bit boring. Lausanne has a steep climb at the end, which would probably suit a breakaway or an Alaphilippe type win there. Chalet La Porte du Soleil, again, probably one for the breakaway, and same with Megève Aéroport to finish off. Stage 11, though, will be the first big GC mountain day. They've got two main climbs, well, three. They've got the Telegraph, the Galibier, and then they've got the Col du Granon, which hasn't featured since, I believe, 1986. 11.3 kilometers at 9.2%. So it's a proper finish, and it goes up to altitude at nearly 2,500 meters. I would expect this one to be one for Egan Bernal to try and either pull back some time or gain some time on the likes of Pogacar and Primoz Roglic. That being said, the Col du Granon does come before Alpe d'Huez, which features on stage 12. You've got a classic stage at the Tour de France here. You've got the Col du Galibier from Briançon and the Lauterey. You've then got the Croix de Fer and then the finish up to Alpe d'Huez. 13.8 kilometers at 8.1%, but we know the first couple of K are brutal, and that's when you can really sort of, if you crack at the bottom, you're screwed if you're going for GC. So will the GC guys wait for Alpe d'Huez, or will they look to string two mountain stages together? I would like to think they'll have some fun. That being said, the Col du Granon does come before Alpe d'Huez, which features on stage 12. You've got a classic stage at the Tour de France here. You've got the Col du Galibier from Briançon and the Lauterey. You've then got the Croix de Fer and then the finish up to Alpe d'Huez. 13.8 kilometers at 8.1%, but we know the first couple of K are brutal, and that's when you can really sort of, if you crack at the bottom, you're screwed if you're going for GC. So will the GC guys wait for Alpe d'Huez, or will they look to string two mountain stages together? I would like to think they'll have some fun. Into the second week now, and you've got a few days that could create some challenges. You've got a hilltop finish to Mond, famous climb to an airport in Provence, I believe. And then you've got a potentially crosswind day to Carcassonne. The next big GC day will be in the Pyrenees, the stage to Périgueux. Aspan, you've got the Arizan, you've got the Valeron Asset, and then you've got the finish up Périgueux. Not from the Perisord side this time, so it's a proper summit finish. 8.8 kilometers at 7.8%. I'd imagine the breakaway will win this one with what's to come the day after, but it would be another good one for you, a GC guy, to try and put some time into the time trialists before that final TT. And after the Périgueux, you've got another famous day. You've got the Col du Obisque halfway through the stage. We know that 16.4k at 7.1. They're doing it from the hard side, which is lovely. Then you've got the Col du Spandels, 10k, 10.3 at 8.3%. Not seen this climb myself, but I expect it to be not a launch pad because you've got Otakam to come. But it will be a hard climb. It will be one to get rid of teammates, I think. Otakam, 13.6 kilometers, again 7.8%. But that middle section is where it really bites, and that is where you'll want to put the attack in. Final big GC battle will come on stage 20 with the 40-kilometer individual time trial. It's a nice length. Personally, I'd like longer. I'd want a TT every so often, at least 50 kilometers. But this is what we have, and it's a good little route. It's flat for the first 30 odd k, and then the final 10k it gets a bit rolly with two climbs. Not too long, about a k and a half, but a decent gradient. Certainly the final climb at 7.8% certainly looks like it will. If you're tired, if you paced it wrong, you could lose a big chunk of time in that final 10k. So as I was saying, it's a very well balanced tour route for this year, for next year. Plenty to suit a lot. There's not as many opportunities for the sprinters, so I wouldn't expect Bennett, Cav, or Ackerman, the sprinter riders, to go for the green jersey. I think this next year it would suit someone like Wout van Aert or Mathieu van der Poel, or Peter Sagan if he can rediscover his form. In terms of the GC, I think the big three, Bernal, Pogacar, and Roglic, you'll be pretty happy. There's plenty of stages for Bernal to try and attack before and gain time, and then hope and pray that he can limit his losses in the TT. He will also enjoy the cobbled stage, and he will have potentially Filippo Ganna looking after him that stage. Pogacar's strong everywhere. Roglic is pretty good everywhere as well. I think it will be an aggressive race, just like we saw in 2021. I just hope the GC battle is a little bit closer than this year. Thank you very much for watching my preview of the Tour de France 2022 route and my earlier video for the TDF Femmes race as well. I will see you next time on James Talk Sport. Thank you very much for watching again.